Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel, and this is the NXT review for the 25th of May 2010. We're down to, I guess, the week before the final week of NXT for this particular season, so to speak. They bring guys out and they've got them down to the final four. Everyone is kind of throwing each other under the bus as far as who should be eliminated. I don't particularly like these particular deals here, as ultimately, if the pros are going to make the decision, and also it wastes television time just doing an insult war. But we're down to Heath Slater, David Otunga, Justin Gabriel, and Wade Barrett. One would have to assume Barrett would be the favorite going into the, if this was in real time, deal here. We see a tag team match here with pros and rookies against each other. David Otunga and R-Truth versus none other than Christian and Heath Slater. I guess R-Truth at the time is the U.S. champion, which strikes me as odd because I don't remember that run, although honestly, most of WWE in the last 10 to 15 years has been forgettable as far as who champions are, except maybe even main champions. And I've been a weekly watcher for about maybe 3 years out of 32. So it's just an interesting run that this is such a non-sequential time. Truth and Slater start off, hip toss by Truth. Otunga comes in, and Slater at this point does have the crowd behind him pretty good bit. Wouldn't necessarily say in a great way, but not in a bad way either. Works on the arm. Christian comes in with Otunga. Tries to work around real basic maneuvers, hammerlocks, switches, and that. Christian up through, hits a shot, and ultimately gets a dropkick under the chin. Does Christian. Christian then tries to do the best he can to get things going in his general direction for his team. Short kick and then a tag off to R-Truth. Truth being in the position of, even like a champion in this way, other than maybe a tag champ, just doesn't make sense to me in 2010 time frame. But again, that's 11 years ago. Maybe there was more behind him at that point. Eventually, we will have the Raws and SmackDowns up from that time frame as well. That's going to be a slog to get through as well. Anyhow, Otunga and Christian are pretty evenly matched. Christian does give him a lot in terms of just taking a good bit of his offense. Hot tag off to Heath Slater, which makes sense. Slater probably of the four talents left, certainly the babyface one of the bunch, and Slater being in that position is kind of interesting. Slater sent to the outside, grabbed by the tights and sent to the outside, over the shoulder on Otunga, and trying to get a good bit for him there. Roll through by Otunga on a crossbody, and he actually gets a hook of the leg victory there. Surprising to Truth, but he's smiling and happy. Daniel Bryan has been ordered to apologize. Although if he's been removed from the show, I don't quite understand why he's being forced to apologize for the assault on Michael Cole. He does go out and apologize. He, plays the political game. 5 to 7 minute segment basically where Cole is humiliating him, and obviously this has all been fed through Vince, and there's some haha behind it. The idea that parts of Daniel Bryan's career are wasted behind angles like this just doesn't make sense. While I understand imperatively that you need angles in wrestling to draw people in, at the same time, the fact that you can't come up with he's a fighter who has fought from underneath and grew up. I mean, his real life story of being kind of the dweeby kid who used wrestling as an advantage to get through life and became obsessed. I mean, you could use, he was depressed and wrestling was his cure. He was borderline autistic, and wrestling was his savantness. Like, I think there's just so many ways to have used him better over the years, but you can't go back and do all of that. Again, there's an assault between Daniel Bryan and Michael Cole, which actually what actually leads to him being terminated is that he attacked a real life Terminator. He attacked a ring announcer, and maybe there was an angle there to bring him back the whole time. I don't really know, but suffice to say, brawling in the aisleways uh, worked, or shoot, not exactly the best of situations. Wade Barrett, 7-4 record coming into this particular event, is your next rookie up having a match here. Ultimately, Barrett has a good amount of fans for the time period. I think a lot of it has to do with the time, with the size and the poise and all of that. Justin Gabriel, his opponent here, you know, both guys circling, kind of going around each other a little bit, kind of there. Go behind by Gabriel. By Gabriel. Gabriel gets caught with an elbow, and Barrett, does give Gabriel the chance to get some kicks and strikes in. Obviously, Gabriel known for his speed. I don't know that that ever translates to the main roster at the time. It's not something I remember being there for more than maybe 3 to 6 months as a major force. But anyway, Barrett cuts him off, gets him down on the canvas, and goes right at him. Tries to sit him out with a seated abdominal stretch. Doesn't get all he wants on that. Does get enough, though. And then kind of see a float over by Barrett. And again, kicks by the roundabout by Justin Gabriel. Gabriel manages to do everything he possibly can to kind of get over, but also at the same time, again, his kicks, the forearm strikes and the kind of roaring elbow bit, not so bad, but the kicks, guys are taking bumps too early for, in my estimation. Crossbody with a springboard element by Gabriel, and Jericho is upset on the outside. Jericho has been a exceedingly convincing pro throughout. Slingshot suplex backbreaker maneuver by Barrett, who goes right in for the cover and tries to get a victory there. Anyhow, Jericho gets frustrated. There is a moment where, in fact, Gabriel gets him taken down and hits the 450 splash. Victory for Justin Gabriel going forward, and some would say that's a bit of a surprise. Highlights of Raw continued, and then we go to the elimination of Heath Slater. Various people, Christian saying he just lacked kind of vision. Miz saying he lacked drive and showing that extra bit of gumption. Basically, the pros all endorsing that he wasn't ready and not being worth paying to see, which I don't know that having the paying to see part as part of a scripted program is the best of situations. Slater saying he doesn't like The Miz, but he'll be back and continue the fight someday, and that is that. That will close this particular program with literally, I believe, one episode left in this season. We should have that up later today, early tomorrow. But until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.